welcome back to my channel. So for today's video, we're gonna be doing a fall makeup tutorial. So this one is my second one. I really want to go with like greens and kind of like goldy eyeshadow, and I really want to use the ColourPop It's a Mood palette because it just, if this palette doesn't scream fall at you, I honestly, what eyeshadow palette's gonna? So I want to use that. I did kind of have a couple more new stuff I wanted to show you or just try out in this video. So I did try out the One Size concealer. I used some of the Makeup by Mario cream stuff. I did show you guys the Juvia's Place bronzer palette. I did try out this Lorac powder. But yeah, so some of this stuff is new and I haven't tried it. Some of this stuff is new, whatever I try it and just want to show you guys. So yeah, if you want to see how to get this fall makeup look, then just keep on watching. So we're just gonna go ahead and get started. I did this eye off camera. I just primed it with some concealer, did my eyebrows, and then, you know, did my eyeshadow. So the main palette that we're gonna be using today is the ColourPop It's a Mood palette. This palette was just so pretty and just, this does not scream like fall. You have like your purples, your cranberries, your warm tones, your blues, like your emerald blues, and then you have like your olive greens. So definitely glad I picked this palette up because it's so pretty. First thing I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna grab my big fluffy brush. This is the Morphe M501, and I'm just gonna dip into this shade right here. It's just kind of like a cool toned brown, and I'm just gonna start putting that into the crease. And I did set my eyelids. I don't think I said that, but yeah. We're just kind of like messy blending this in because it doesn't have to be perfect. I just want this wash of color. So kind of just like that. Okay, and then we're just gonna take that shade again and this warmer, it's a little bit warmer, a little bit deeper, and I'm just gonna mix those two shades. And those shades were called, this one's Midnight Run and You and I. So I'm just mixing those two on a little bit smaller of a blending brush. And I'm just going to put this in the crease, kind of in the same spot, but a little bit deeper. So I was just playing around with this palette the other day. I used the greens a little bit. I was using the cranberries just to kind of see. And they honestly, I do love ColourPop's formulas. They do blend really easily and nicely, real fast, just because I feel like I want one more transition shade, but not too dark. I'm gonna go into this Dose of Colors Cutting Edge palette. This is a really good palette. It's just kind of like those mustardy warm greens. So I'm gonna go into this first shade. These are pigmented. Dose of Colors eyeshadows are very pigmented, so I'm just taking a little bit on that same brush and I'm just gonna run this into the crease just to warm it up some, add a little bit more of that green hue without going in with like an actual green just yet. Obviously we're eventually gonna go in with the green, but I just needed something in between. So now I'm gonna go ahead and start really building this up. So I'm gonna take this on a Morphe M433. It's just kind of more of a detailed, a little bit slimmer of a blending brush. And I'm gonna go into this like olivey green. This is Oblivion. I'm just gonna take that shade. And we're gonna really angle this out. So like on this side, I kind of kept it almost like at an angle, and that's what we're gonna do on this side. So I'm gonna keep it literally, it's okay if this gets on the lash line, but I'm just gonna take it like this. We're not gonna start rounding this out. We really wanna keep it like a V. So like almost if you were doing like a really chunky wing is what we're doing. And then I'm going to slowly start taking this into the crease. I don't want to deepen the crease too much, so we are doing this kind of slow. kind of like that. And then I'm gonna go back in with that M441 and I'm just gonna blend over it. There's no extra product on this. I'm literally just gonna go over it, blend those edges a little bit. But as you can see, we kind of have that angled shape, so I'm just gonna keep doing that till I can get it built up to how I like it, and then we'll go to the next step. Okay, so I'm actually gonna take a little definer brush. You can use any kind that you have. This one's from Alamar, you get in like a set. I'm gonna take that same green and I'm just gonna like line it out, like kind of extend it so that it doesn't look like it's just like randomly stopped, but still kind of keeping it like that winged out shape. I'm just gonna take the concealer that I primed my eyes with. This is the NARS Soft Matte Complete Concealer. I'm just gonna take this and kind of carve out the crease, but very, very lightly. We're more kind of just cleaning it up than we are like really cutting it. So I'm not taking a bunch. This is a Alamar. It was in the same set, but you can just use any kind of concealer brush. I have to get close to do this, but I'm pretty much just gonna carve it out and kind of find where we're at a little bit. Like I said, it doesn't have to be perfect because we are gonna kind of put shimmers over it and kind of blend over it anyway, so it doesn't really matter. But I just want to clean it up before we did all that. So I'm gonna go back in. No, this is the M456, a little bit smaller than the M433. Back in with that green and we're just gonna blend it. Just kind of tapping it, redefining it a little bit. And I'm just gonna take whatever's left over and kind of just take that into the crease a little bit. And then I'm going to take that M441, our very first brush, or our second brush that we used, and just blend over everything. Okay, and now we're going to go in with the shimmers. So this is where I did also go into another palette because they have a greeny shimmers, but a lot of them do lean gold, and I wanted like a green. But I didn't want to use this glitter. I like the glitters, but they can be a mess because they are just like packed glitters. So, and I don't have like a glitter glue or anything, and I do like them. They look pretty on my eyes, but they are a hassle getting off. So I went into this other ColourPop palette. This is my Just the Look palette, and I went into All of You, and I'm just gonna pick this up on a little, this is just like a little lid brush. This is a M124 by Morphe, and I just sprayed it. Any spray that you want, and I'm gonna put this kind of like where, ooh, that's a lot more wet than I really thought it was gonna be. Kind of where we cut everything, and I'm keeping this towards the back, but I will like bring it in. So kind of like that. Hopefully you can see what I'm doing, but again, I have to get close. I don't know how people can do their eyeshadow from like 3 feet away. I need to see what's going on. And then we're gonna go back into the It's a Mood palette, and I'm gonna take this shimmer. This is Surface. It's kind of like a greeny gold. So I'm gonna take that. Again, spray my brush. I'm using the same brush. And I'm gonna blend those two together. And then I'm just gonna fill in the rest of the lid. But just as a topper, you can skip this part. You can do it if you have this highlight, whatever you want to do. Going with the Fenty Beauty Trophy Wipe highlighter. I don't use this on my face, but I will use it as like an eyeshadow. It's just like a really shimmery gold. I'm gonna top that gold that we put on the lid with this, just to kind of make it pop a little bit more, and just why not? Okay, and then for the inner corner, I just took my little E36. I took the shade Opal by Makeup by Mario, just like a really pearly white, just a pop in the inner corner. And that's it. I am gonna like kind of blend it, fix everything, see what we have going on. I'm gonna go over this just to make sure it's really blended. There is no extra product on this. I'm just kind of like going over the edges a little bit. And then I'm just taking this palette. I'm just gonna go back in with a little bit of the first shade and just kind of go over everything. Just to make sure we are blended. I feel like sometimes on camera things don't look as blended as they do in person. But yeah, so that's pretty much it for the eyes. It looks difficult, but it's really not bad. But I really do like that ColourPop palette. If you're looking for like a good fall palette, that is a good one. So I'm just gonna do my mascara off camera. I'm just gonna be using the Fenty Beauty mascara. I'm almost done with this. I'm trying to finish it before I open up a new one. So I'm just gonna throw on some mascara and I'll be right back. So now we're gonna move on to the face. So I did already do like sunscreen, eye cream, moisturizer, all that. And then I kind of just went over it with the Summer Fridays. I combined the Summer Fridays Jet Lag Mask and this Elemis Superfood Glowing Primer Moisturizer. Just give me like a hydrated look, and I kind of want a little bit more of a glow today. So I did mix those two together. And I'm just going to go ahead and put on the e.l.f. Matte Putty Primer just to kind of fill in the pores, help me to stay matte. And I do really like this one. It's not too mattifying, but it does do a really good job of controlling my oils and and filling in the pores. I couldn't think of what I was trying to say. For foundation, I'm just going to mix this Smashbox Studio Skin 15 Hour Wear Hydrating Foundation in the shade 0.3 Fair Neutral. I love this one. It's really hydrating, has good coverage, and it just looks like skin. But to make it a little bit more fuller glam, I'm going to mix it in with the Estee Lauder Double Wear Foundation in the shade Cool Bone. As you can see, this is more like my color. This is a little too dark for me, so I do have to like mix this with stuff. I wish I had my shade. So we're just gonna mix it. Ooh, my look. That's the one thing. Look, this is way too much. It's one thing with the Estee Lauder. I'm just gonna kind of like speed through this because I feel like if you watch any of my tutorials, you've seen me do my foundation. So, gosh, that was so much foundation. I'm just gonna blend it in with my e.l.f. Total Face Sponge. But like I had to put my hair up in a scrunchie because I was just having a time. I actually forgot how much I like those mixed together. The Smashbox one kind of thins out the Estee Lauder one a little bit, so it's not so full glam. For concealer, I do have a new one. It's the One Size Turn Up the Base Butter Silk Concealer, and I have mine in the shade Fair 2R. I will have like the description of this concealer in the video, so it should be somewhere here, but this is supposed to be like a medium to full coverage concealer. I love the powder. I love the powder foundation. I love the primer. Like all of those are some of my absolute favorites. If you have oily skin and you haven't tried his powder or his powder foundation or his primer, you need to, because literally I love everything that I've complexion wise from him. So I'm really excited to try out the concealer. This is what it looks like. Very on brand for him, just like the red cap. It's a pretty big tube, and then this is what the doe foot looks like. So it has like a really kind of like the Anastasia one where it does come to a point, has a little bit more of an angle. Be good for if you like to like really like conceal and contour. So I'm just gonna do like my use, which is like here, here, and then here. Whatever is just like left over, I just like put on my chin. So I will take my Rare Beauty concealer, or my Rare Beauty concealer brush, and also use a sponge on one side. I really do like this Rare Beauty concealer brush. I use it a lot. It's already so dirty. I'm just gonna blend it out on this side. See, this is a very pigmented concealer. I feel like this is one that you would just want to go over with a sponge, just so it like really meshes all that in, like really meshes it into the skin and really blends it out. More than likely I will always use a sponge, even if I use a brush first like I did with that Rare Beauty brush. and then I'll go over it with the sponge, but I just feel like the sponge really melts into the skin a little bit more. I will say I think this dries down a little bit fast. Like, it looks really nice underneath the skin. It doesn't look dry, but it has a really good coverage without looking heavy. I do think that this dries pretty fast. Like, I could tell that where I did the under eyes first, I could tell like where the nose and the face, like the chin and forehead, were still sitting. Like, they were a little bit harder to blend out than it was underneath my eye. So definitely keep that in mind. Don't let this, I wouldn't let this concealer sit and dry, because it will, and then it's just gonna be so much harder to blend it out. But I do like it. I think it looks really nice, and I'm sure it'll probably wear really well, since all of his other ones will wear so nicely. I'm gonna go in with my Makeup by Mario Soft Sculpt Shaping Stick. I told you I'd use this in my next video. I really love this. I like the color, I like the formula. I think it blends really easily, and it really shapes and bronzes you up, but without looking too heavy. So I just picked some up on my Huda Beauty Sculpt and Shade brush. I love this brush. Again, like I said, I would only use this one that comes with it if I was traveling and I didn't want to take a lot of brushes, but for the everyday, I'm going to use the brushes I know and love. So I just picked some up off the stick, and I blend it onto my hand, and then I start putting it on the face. That's just the way I prefer. I feel like you get a better blend. It looks a little bit more natural, and it's not so heavy. Sometimes whenever you really just like put it on the face, I feel like it can make it a little harder to blend. I will say this formula blends really nicely, and it's not one that would take a lot to blend. So if you are someone who prefers to do it like putting on your face and then blend it out, you could do it, because this one does blend really easily and nicely. So if you are someone who prefers that method, you could totally do it, which is not the way I prefer. And of course, like everything, I'm gonna go back over it with my sponge. And then I don't have any new like cream blushes or anything like that. I think I'm gonna take my Tower 28 Beach Please blush. I did pull Power Hour and After Hour. I think I'm gonna go in with Power Hour. I don't think the berry's really gonna match the green look as much as I want, so I'm gonna go in with Power Hour. It's just like a deep terracotta shade, and I'm gonna take it on my Fenty Beauty face shaping brush. Do it the same way. I tap it in, blend it out on my hand, and then put it on. I don't want to go crazy, so I'm going to try and control myself here, since the eyes are like kind of a lot. And now I'm going to set the face. So I actually do have like a new setting powder. I've never tried it. I don't know how new it is. It's by Lorac. So this is the Pro Loose setting powder, and I have the shade Soft Rose. I actually got this in a BoxyCharm, and I did really want to try it. I do like these pink colored setting powders. They're really good for brightening, especially if you have fair skin. That pink undertone's really gonna help brighten up underneath the eyes. This one is pretty pink. The Huda Beauty one almost has more of a peachy pink. So we'll see how this goes. I don't know the claims about this powder. I guess we'll find out. So I just take it on my damp sponge, kind of blend it out on my hand like I do everything else, just so it evenly disperses the product. Is that the word? I don't know. And then I'm just gonna pat it into the rest of my face. I'm just gonna, since it is that pink undertone, I don't want to brighten my entire face. So I'm just gonna take this underneath the eyes and in the T-zone. Oh, you know what? I don't know if it's a mixture of the primer and the concealer and the powder, but that looks so good. It really blurred and mattified everything. Yeah, that looks nice. Like, really nice. I am going to set the rest of my face. I'm going to use this big old E2 brush. And I'm just going to lightly set it with the One Size Powder Foundation. Just nothing crazy. I do have to set. I am oily. Cold or summer months, I'm still oily. So, yeah. Let's finish up the eyes, and then we'll do like finish up the face. So I'm not gonna do anything crazy underneath the eyes. We have a lot going on, so I'm probably just gonna take these transition shades, a little bit of this on the lash line, and call it a day. So I'm just gonna do that pretty quickly. I feel like it can kind of be boring watching the lower lash line, so, and I have to get so close to this, so I'm just gonna kind of speed through this part. I did kind of finish up the eyes. I will add a little bit more mascara after we spray the face, but I just took a little bit of this shade, pretty much all I did, and then I added a black liner to the top waterline and called her a day. So now we're gonna go ahead and move back to the face. So I'm actually gonna use, I haven't used this on camera. I got this at Ulta a couple weeks ago. So this is the Juvia's Place Bronzed, is that all it's called? Bronzer palette. So this is in the shade Light. So this one's a pretty bit, like this is quite a bit warmer. This is gonna be like more like the bronze, and this is more like a Sculpt. So I'm gonna just mix both of these. It reminds me a lot of the Jouer bronzer duo that I use all the time. Even the colors kind of remind me of it. Maybe a little bit deeper and a little bit more rich, but like still kind of reminds me of it a lot. So yeah, I'm just gonna apply that with my big fluffy brush. I do like these. They're both matte. I feel like they have good pigment. I like a lot of Juvia's Place products. I might actually, I feel like I took it a little low, so I might kind of carve that out a little bit. I haven't done that in a while. You know what I did for, my brush is shedding. Don't look at it, but I forgot to do my neck. Spray the face a little bit. I'm just going to use my Urban Decay All Nighter. So I can go in with highlight. So I think for highlight, I might mix these two again. I'm gonna mix Opal and Pearl by Makeup by Mario. Let that feels so good. I'm hot, okay? It's chilly in Virginia, but it's not like freezing cold just yet, so it's hot. And I can't have the fan on because you can hear it. So I'm gonna take my Morphe R36 brush. Again, whatever brush you want to use. I'm just gonna mix those two together. I've been like using these highlights pretty much non-stop since I got them, because I really like the formula and the like full glam that you can get with these, or like that light everyday natural glow you can get. So I've been like really using these a lot. So I did pull the Pat McGrath Divine blushes or whatever it's called, but this shade's really pink. I can never get this open. This one's like very, very pink, so it's not really gonna go with the look, so I'll just use that in another video. So I'm gonna go with my Jaclyn Hill Rouge Romance palette. Still loving this, still using it all the time. I'm actually gonna take it on this brush. So I got this brush in a BoxyCharm. It did come with a blush, which I do like it. I just feel like this brush is really unique. So this is the Half Kate 813 Duo Fiber brush. As you can see, it's like got like a dense paddle brush almost at the bottom, and then it has like these like just like fluffy bristles. I don't know how to explain it, but I really like it for just like blush. You could use it for bronzer, and it's just kind of give you more of like a sheer wash of color. So I'm gonna mix I might mix Fancy Pants and Tempting. So these two, these are very pigmented, so you don't need a lot of these. And since we did the highlight first, it's really gonna blend the blush or the bronzer and the highlight together when we do blush after. So I'm gonna go ahead and kind of bake a little bit underneath that. I'm gonna grab a powder that's not like this soft rose shade. I'm just gonna grab this Beauty Bakery powder. This is the Flower Setting Powder in the shade Oat. I think that's the color. And I'm just gonna take my sponge. I'm just gonna kind of clean up underneath there. Again, I haven't done this in a really long time. I used to do it all the time, but I just feel like I brought that bronzer a little too low. So I kind of just want to clean it up a little bit. So I'm going to apply a little bit of the Benefit Gimme Brow into my eyebrows, just to comb through like any foundation, powder, and kind of fluff them up. I need a new one. This one's running out. Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and take this bake off. I don't want like a strong bake. I just want it to clean that up a little. So we're just gonna go ahead and blend it in and kind of dust it away. Okay, I'm gonna spray my face one more time with the Urban Decay All Nighter. Whew. Okay, so I'm gonna do the lips. I'm gonna try and do this on camera. We'll see how it goes. I'm gonna take NYX. I think these are the Slim lip pencils in the shade Natural. I love this color. I really do. So I'm just gonna... And I'm just gonna clean it up because I always clean up my lip liners, no matter if it's absolutely perfect, which like never happens. We're just gonna clean it up. I just take off any extra concealer because I don't like straight concealer when I clean it up. So yeah. And I'm gonna mix Huda Beauty Anniversary lipstick. So I'm gonna do this one first. I'm just gonna blot it on. This one's a little bit more warm. I might mix a little bit of this Milk Cosmetics nude lipstick. I love this lipstick. It does have a little bit more of a pinky undertone, especially compared to the Huda Beauty one, but I love this lipstick. I'm gonna touch up the lip liner just a little bit. Like that. And then I got these two Buxom glosses when I was at Ulta, and these might be some of my favorites. So I have the shade Celeste. I'm gonna try and like let it focus so that you can see just how like gorgeous these colors are. And then I got the shade Dylan. It's almost like a clear, I don't even know how to explain it, but I just love these colors. So yeah, and I like the lip creams by Buxom, but I think the polishes are better. I just prefer them. So I'm gonna start off with Celeste. I might still use a little bit of Dylan just because I love it. But Celeste is like a champagne with almost like pinky and like silver and like gold reflex. I don't know how to explain it, but I love these Buxom glosses. They do have like that minty feel. It's nothing too crazy. If you don't like the Too Faced ones but you want a plumping gloss, try the Buxom ones. They are a lot more toned down of that one, and they have tons and tons of colors. And the creams, I don't think they have as many, but the polishes, they literally have probably over 100. Like, it's kind of overwhelming. I normally wait till I'm in stores to see them, but they don't have the full color range in stores. So yeah, that is the finished look. I hope you love this. I really want to go for that green fall makeup look. I really love how it turned out. I'll go over like my newer things, but this was kind of more of a makeup tutorial than like a first impressions, but we did try out some new stuff. So I love this ColourPop It's a Mood palette. I knew I would. It's perfect for fall if you love just fall, like warm purples, emeralds, and greens. This is going to be your favorite palette for this season. I love this palette. I do love ColourPop's formula. I feel like they're so good for the money. I love their formula, and this has so many colors, and it's $34, I'm pretty sure. But you do get like shimmers, you get pressed glitters, you get mattes, and I just love their formula, so I knew I was gonna love this palette. The Lorac Pro Loose Setting Powder, I really like this. It looks so good underneath the eyes. It just looks so smooth and matte, but very brightened and blurred. So I do really like this powder. I have to see how it holds up. What else did I try out? I think this was the last thing I tried out. This is the One Size Turn Up the Base Butter Silk Concealer. I like it. I really like this concealer. I feel like it's good for people with oily skin because it does kind of set down to that matte finish. If you don't like to set your face, I don't feel like you'd have to set this one. Of course, I'd have to like see how if it creases and how it wears throughout the day, but as of right now, it looks really, really good. Like I said, when I was blending it out, I do feel like this dries down fast, so I would do one eye and then do the other one, or I just wouldn't let it sit. Like I wouldn't do this concealer and then let it sit and go do my bronzer and stuff like that. This is one that I would definitely blend out as I'm like doing it. So yeah, as of now, I'm really enjoying the concealer. I think it looks really smooth. Definitely a little bit more mattifying, especially compared to the Anastasia one. I would say the Anastasia one's a little bit creamier, a little bit more hydrating, but this one's a little bit more mattifying, so it might last a little bit better. So yeah, I'll keep you updated. Again, I like to do like Sephora haul updates. Everything else I had tried out, like the Makeup by Mario stuff is like newer, but I have already tried it out. And the Juvia's Place palette, which I don't know where it went, but that I had already used. I just wanted to show it for you on camera. And I do really love the Juvia's Place palette. I think it's really, really good. If you want the Jouer one, but you don't want to splurge, I would go for that one. It's like half the price. So yeah, thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Let me know what you want to see in my next video. And yeah, thank you guys so much for watching. I'll see you in my next one. Bye.